Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426, and today we have the review of the P-Bandai exclusive or P-Bandai exclusive Master Grade Testament Gundam. So these are one of those specific mobile suits that is pretty much seen in the Gundam Seed series, but not in the anime, but mostly in manga or any other like parts of the novel or anything that was not in the anime. So I've only known the existence of this mobile suit. I've seen my first exposure to this mobile suit was through the Robot Damashi. I do not own the figure, but I've seen pictures of the figure, and I definitely knew that I really like the color scheme, especially being red, and I am a big fan of red mobile suits. Alright, so this did technically arrive last week for me. However, this was supposed to arrive way earlier, but because of the pandemic, this has been delayed 1 or 2 times in Korea as far as I remember. So keep that in mind. So if your delivery is getting delayed, it's mostly because of the pandemic, and there were 2 pre-orders for this. So there was the initial one, and then later they had another second pre-order. So depending on which one you ordered, yours can arrive way later. Alright, so without further ado, let's start with the review. So I would like to mention that this kit, the model kit, the build was extremely simple. I mean, the build was pretty straightforward. There were nothing too difficult or complex. So for some reason I was expecting something very complicated, but that's not the case. Alright, so let's talk about components. So first of all, what you get of course is obviously the Testament Gundam, the model itself, and it looks amazing. I've seen some people complain that, oh, the Dragon Momoko version is better, but I don't think so. I mean, sure, I'm pretty sure other bootleg companies will try to compete by giving it more panel line, more detail, but I don't think that should be the main thing about a single mobile, if you ask me. I definitely like the clean look, and the red color scheme looks really good. And the fact that one part that I was amazed that, despite, okay, usually master grades are supposed to like have all color separations, but so far like a lot of master grades do come with certain stickers, mostly the eye stickers, a lot of head cameras, or certain details that are kind of hard to deal with, part separation. But this kit, the only sticker you get is is the eye sticker. No camera, no nothing, just the eye stickers, which was definitely a big bonus for me. And then other than stickers, you get a water slide sheet decal. So we get a water slide sheet, we get all these lines and symbols going on here. So once again, I'm not a big fan of water slides, but if you're a big fan of these, go nuts with it. Alright, and other than that, here are all the components. And since I did show you guys the action base, here is this kit actually comes with its own action base. Well, it's technically the same 1:100 scale action base, but in red, so that's a good thing. So you do get a action base as a bonus, and because of the action base play, we do get some leftover parts. We get these extra joints going on here, which I don't think should be that important for this specific kit. Alright, and before we go to its usual components, let's talk about leftover parts. So here are the 2 leftover parts that I cut off for now. There are more on the plates, but here we have some sort of neck armor joint part, and then we get an actual neck joint as a leftover piece, so that's pretty good. And here are some plates that I will go one by one. So actually one of these is actually just a polycap thing, so as usual, most kits do have leftover polycaps, nothing too surprising. And then here we have some parts which is called from the X-Frame, which is basically, I can assume it's either from the GAT series, basically like some basic common parts that are used by most Master Grade Seed Gundams. So yeah, it seems like we got some ankle joints. And here it seems like we got some feet parts as well. So, and I think that's pretty much it for the leftover parts. So not as many leftover parts as you think. And then here are its equipment. So we got some really interesting equipment, so hopefully this will be an interesting review. So before we go to the usual, the unique equipment, let's go over the typical stuff. So number 1, we get 2 beam saber effect parts, and obviously we get 2 beam saber hilts. The 2 beam saber hilts are actually stored in the side skirts pretty well. I do like these kind of type of clean weapon storage system. So then they are pretty good. Of course, the one on the right tends to pop off a little bit too easily, but it could be just me constantly bumping because of the weapons that I usually put on the right arm. But other than that, we do get 2 beam saber effect parts. Pretty typical, nothing too special. And then here we have the hand parts. So being a Seed series mobile suit, model kit or master grade, the hands are the ones where you swap out the finger parts. So we get a set of trigger finger hands, which is also for a specific weapon. We get 2 fully open hands for posing, and then we get 2 basically a set of multi-purpose hands, which is in this case is for the beam saber handle. And of course these are the ones that has the pegs inside, because each weapon has a whole system in there on them as well. And currently on the kit wise, I gave it the fist hands. Alright, so here we have the unique one. So number one, we have this claw weapon. I believe there is a specific name, I can't remember what it was at the moment, but this weapon is pretty interesting. So apparently I did recently check the wiki, and it does mention that this thing is kind of based on, or kind of similar to, the Blitz Gundam's weapon. So yeah, it's called the Triceros Kai, something like that. This is basically a whole weapon that you put on the arm, and it has these massive claws that can actually move. So each claw is on a ball joint on the bottom, and then we have another joint on the top section, so we can fold up the claws. We have these yellow ones that can move side to side, and then we have this giant, cool-looking blade. Now it does, and you are able to take it up depending on which pose you want to do so. It is on a pick, so it's really menacing looking. And yes, this thing also does have a blaster right inside here. So this is pretty much a package of a weapon. And not only that, as I mentioned, I really do like clean weapon storage men. So you can open these sections up to reveal the beam pistols. Yes, you do get the beam pistols. I think the promo pictures did not do a good job on how to showing these, but they are here. So you can take them off. Come on, there we go. And they look excellent. They have enough detail. I do like the color. They also are written ZGMF and then X12A. And yeah, they're pretty simple build. You just snap two pieces together and you're good to go. And once again, and you do have a whole system for the trigger finger. So this, once you have it on the hand, it is a firm grip. And I would like to mention, compared to the Blitz Gundam, it is much easier to attach this to the arm. And you can attach this to either the left arm or the right arm. Because if you see my pictures on Facebook and the pictures I'm going to be uploading to Facebook, yes, I did kind of swap them out, swap each arm. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the weapon itself. So other than that, and oh yeah, of course you need to have this attachment to actually hold it on the arm, because it's just basically, this is the pretty much only thing that's going to be holding the weapon. So keep that in mind. And here we have the backpack. Now I'm pretty sure some people were interested in the backpack. It's a pretty simple backpack. I mean, it's a flat backpack. It's not like the way how a Ale Strike pack works, but it's pretty massive. So we have this part. This is the main part that connects to the back, and it's a very firm connection. And we have all these movement parts that can, even this part can rotate a bit. I mean, it does rotate, but it's very stiff. And then the end part, I believe, yeah, this part can also rotate around, because there is a gimmick regarding this. And then we can open the wings up, we can fold the wings up like that, and then we can also move the wings up front for a specific gimmick. And let's see, and then we have these claw-looking weapon, claw-type things, which also works as weapon. Inside we also have more weapons inside here. So yes, this is not only a backpack, but also works as a weapon. Of course, it's kind of tricky to use, but still works fine. So I'll be demonstrating that later. Alright, so we're done with the checking the components. Let's go over articulation. There we go, sorry about that. Let's see, as usual, let's start with the head. Now the head, I was kind of worried, because I'm going to be honest, when I recently built the Master Grade Asteroid kits, I did not like their V-fins, because their V-fins were very fragile, and number two, they can easily pop off. But this one did not have that issue, because the yellow one, I don't have any issues on the V-fin, but this top red one was the part which I was slightly getting worried, but luckily it's a pretty firm connection. So as I mentioned, the only stickers you get are the eyes, and yeah, they look amazing. And definitely, at first I was expecting this to look more like the Asteroid, but now looking at it, it does resemble the Strike Gundam a little bit more, if you ask me. That could be just a personal thing, so do let me know. It can go down that much, and then up that much, which is pretty good. And then 360 twist it is possible, but you need to work your way around, because there were some parts colliding in just a moment. Alright, and then the body looks amazing. And then what I've noticed is that there's only one Vulcan here on the left side. This one is actually closed off, so that's an interesting detail going on here, and the wiki does mention about this as well. And the cockpit opens pretty easily. You know me that I always have trouble opening cockpits in front of camera, but this one, no issue. Regarding the pilot figurine, they just give you a very basic generic pilot figure. So yeah, they don't give you a specific one, as far as I could tell from the figure. Okay, and then the body, it has pretty good movements, if you ask me. So we have a nice ab crunch going on here. And the 360 twist, I would not say it's possible, because it's just mostly the waist section and the design colliding each other. And then looking at the back looks very. Sorry about my light setup today because today's weather in Korea is not that great. It's pretty dark, so I think my light system is having a little trouble today. But still, so the back looks pretty similar to the Strike Gundam, which actually is no coincidence because even the manual does say that it is compatible with a certain striker pack. Well, to be specific, this is not exactly the Ale Strike pack, but you get the idea. It does mention it is compatible with this one, so I would assume it would be also compatible with a typical Ale Strike pack. So I just wanted to mention that, and then the arm. So the way how the arms work is that. So it's not the shoulder armor and the actual arm itself is separated pieces. So this is one of the cases where the armor is a separate piece. So you have to move them together when you're trying to rotate the arm. So despite what I just said, oops, that was close. You are able to rotate the arms 360, and do be careful with the V fins. They are pretty long and they will get in the way. So 360 on the entire arm is possible. 360 on the lower arm is also possible. Well, technically just the arm, and then you can go to the side. If depending on how you move the shoulder armor, you are able to go 90 degrees or slightly more than 90 degrees as well. Let me put that down, and we have a nice double jointed bend. And looking at here, that we have the hole here, which is actually meant for the connector here to connect the Trikeros Kai weapon. And your hands are your typical Master Grade style hands for the seed line, where, you know, as I mentioned, you separate the fingers and only the thumb part is actually movable. Alright, and here we have the beam saber hilts, which are stored here very nicely. And they do also have the whole system right over there. And the side skirts do move actually pretty a lot when you think about it. And then the back skirts also move, the front skirts also move, but not as much as you think. So keep that in mind. And then, because of that, we have a nice side swivel, but very stiff. This is actually one of the most stiff side swivels I've seen so far. And then we can go to the back, almost 90 degrees. It's just the back skirt blocking. And once again, it's just the front skirt blocking. But if you move your way around, you can go about 90 degrees to the front. And I do like the smooth leg armor going on here. Very smooth, not too clunky, not too angled, just really smooth. And once again, like most seed kits, we also have a system where you can reposition the side joints if you want to do so. It's really hard to see with my light setup at the moment, but sorry about that. But this is the best I can do in today's weather because it's very, very dark today for some reason. And then we have a nice double jointed bend going on here, very stiff. And yeah, the knee armor is slightly tricky, but still works. And then the feet. Once again, I do not understand why certain mobile suits have high heel feet. I am not a big fan of these designs because it's just the fact that it's sometimes hard to balance. I'm not sure if this is a better design in terms of an engineering standpoint, but still, come on. This is just a personal small complaint, but yeah, I never like these type of feet. But still, we have a nice ball jointed feet going on here, very nice pivot going on here, and then I believe there is no toe bend that goes up, but we do have a toe bend that goes down, but kind of a weird toe bend if you ask me, because of the design in general. And with the ankle joints are pretty on ball joints, so you can reposition them if you want to do so. Alright, so we're done with the basics. We've seen the basic articulation, and it's definitely a top-notch kit. Definitely a solid build, has amazing articulation. So let's see how it goes when we... so I'll be right back with the demonstration for the equipment, because they are kind of interesting. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So first of all, I attached the backpack and the Trikeros Kai weapon, and yeah, it's a very simple. As I mentioned, the connection on the arm is very simple. You just need to connect the connector part and just slide it in and connect the peg, and which is very simple compared to the Blitz Gundam, where the step was a little bit more complicated. If I remember correctly. So the arm part is a very solid connection. So the way how it works is that here you see the main connector here. So as I mentioned, there is a hole here that you connect the connector, and you make the peg go onto the outside. And then after that, I guess it would be much more easier if once you have this opened up slightly. So you put the fist inside here. There's nothing actually holding the fist. Just there's a space in there so the fist can go inside. And then once it's inside, you connect the peg onto the side, and then they're pretty much good to go. You can collapse it, and even though with the guns, you have no problem folding them up. So with the, as I mentioned, you can take off the blade, and then we have these claws that can move. The bottom section here is connected as a ball joint, so keep that in mind. And these parts can fold up, but they don't open up as wide as you think. So currently there's this one that is kind of straightening up, but that's not supposed to happen. And with the backpack, obviously it does get a little bit back heavy, so I could be doing this on the action base, but once again, my setup is not really the best setup for master grade action base, so I do need to consider buying a much more smaller action base that could hold a master grade. So, but here is the backpack, the way how it works. It's very simple. So it was basically folded up like this, and you just pretty much reposition this and open up the wings. So, and then you're pretty much good to go. So no problem. So nothing actually connects. So this is the only part that's connected, but the peg is very, very long. So you don't need to worry about this falling off constantly. And I wish my camera could focus for once, but once again, it is very dark in Korea, even in the morning. So sorry about this aspect, but you get my idea. So it's a very firm connection, and we have these multiple joints that holding it, and all of them are pretty very tight and firm, so you don't need to worry about any loose parts on this kit as far as I know. The only loose part I had with this are the beam saber hilts, not especially the the right one that popping out, but other than that I had zero issues with this. Alright, and then the action base, actually the action base connector is supposed to go here. It's a clipping mechanism right over here, but it tends to it's supposed to clip here firmly, but it doesn't really clip on firmly. It could be just the fact that I've been taking it on and off constantly, but yeah. Alright, so we're done with the basic weapon, so I'll be right back with the backpack gimmick and other small weapons I can find. Alright, I'm back. So this is the final demonstration. So currently on the right arm I just gave it the pistol, and then left arm I gave it the beam saber, just to give you guys an idea how it holds, and everything holds firmly. And now if you look at the back, yes, that is the backpack now, and it's kind of in a dragon or a viper head mode. I'm not sure if there's a specific name for this mode, but once again, the manual does not really show this aspect that well. I've basically found out that you could do this based on the promo pictures, and I just wanted to confirm that in the promo pictures, it kind of looks like this was kind of attached to the arm, but that's not the case. Once again, like the backpack, you pretty much reposition the backpack into the direction you want to do so, and you pretty much you open up these claws which are on the back, and then you pretty much flip. The wings were supposed to be like this, but you flip it up to the front to give it that extra, I don't know what. I'm not sure if these wings actually work as weapons, but still, I guess they would work as blades. But so yeah, we have this menacing looking backpackish weapon, and that looks very, very cool. So yeah, you can pretty much reposition this anywhere you want. So I currently put it on the direction onto the back, but you can pretty much to give that illusion where you can kind of give that illusion where it's attached to the arm, but it's not really attached. It's not going to be. There's no connection point, so you don't really attach to the arm. So yeah, just to give it more range and more live feeling. Yeah, it's a very unique backpack that works as a menacing weapon at the same time. And I think that's pretty much it for the review. So once again, the only thing I should mention is that this is a very fun kit. It has very unique equipment and unique weapon and a backpack, which also works very uniquely. The only issue I have would be the feet being high heels, and then yeah, the only limitations I had was my setup here, because my setup is not really the best place when number one, the weather is very dark, and number two, it doesn't really, not the best situation to put action bases. I could do more with showing you guys action bases, but I think I did show you guys enough to the point where you should understand how these equipment work at this point, because the manual or the promo pictures did make it slightly confusing. Anyway, that was pretty much it for the review. This was the review of the P-Bandai exclusive Master Grade Testament Gundam. If you guys got any questions or requests, leave a comment below. I still have more stuff to buy and build and make reviews out, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time.